Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we will be discussing the Xbox Series Elite 2 controller versus the Scuf Valor Pro wire controller. And I've been using both of these controllers for the past month. The Scuf Valor Pro wire controller for about maybe a little bit over a month, and the Xbox Series Elite 2 controller for about 2 weeks, getting close to 3 weeks. And I would just like to talk about each controller specifically, how I feel about it, and how they compare with each other and which one you should get. So I would like to start off with the Scuf Valor Pro wire controller because that was the first controller that I bought. And the Scuf Valor Pro wire controller costs about $99. I have the Cherry Blossom edition, so that I think that hiked the price up to about $110. And then I had to pay for shipping and taxes and stuff like that. So it was about close to $120 for the Scuf Valor Pro. Now, my first initial thoughts of Scuf Valor Pro were, it was a great controller. I had a lot of people in my comment section under my videos and my live stream asking me questions about the thumbsticks. And at that time of me using the controller, I didn't really recognize the thumbsticks, so to say. Like, I didn't understand what they were talking about. They were like, are they stiff? I'm not getting this controller because of the thumbsticks are not good. Blase, 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 blah. So for about the first, about 3 weeks, I didn't really understand what they were talking about until I got the Xbox Series Elite 2 controller. And then when I got the Xbox Series Elite 2 controller, I started to understand what they were talking about. So if you don't know, the Scuf Valor Pro wire controller is a Hall effect controller. That basically means that the thumbsticks will always return to their original position, allowing the controller to never have stick drift. So I thought that was a pretty dope addition to the controller because I had been using a PowerA Fusion controller previously, which had a lot of stick drift. So once I got the Xbox Series Elite 2 controller, I was like, oh, so that's what they were talking about with the thumbsticks. I didn't realize it until I went to a different controller and I was like, okay, I see what they're talking about now. So with the Scuf Valor Pro wire controller, the thumbsticks have built-in dead zones that allow the thumbsticks to go back to its original position every single time, essentially making the controller a Hall effect thumbstick controller. Now, what this means is I play FPS shooters, mainly Call of Duty. So the thumbsticks on the controller are extremely important because you have to be able to aim and move around. I did feel like there was a little bit of stiffness when it came to trying to aim and move around with my right thumbstick. It didn't feel as freeingly as the Xbox Series Elite 2 controller. But I kind of want to think about it like this. So when you first ride a bicycle, right? You get on a bicycle, you put your hands on the handlebars, you put one foot on one of the pedals, you put the other foot on the other pedal, you try and pedal, and then you fall to the ground and you scrape your knee, right? It's a trial and error type thing. It's a learning curve. You have to fall 10, 20 times, maybe 30, 40, 50 times before you finally get that, oh, okay, so this is how I ride the bicycle without falling. It's the same concept when it comes to the Scuf Valor Pro wire controller regarding the thumbsticks. Yes, there is a learning curve when it comes to the thumbsticks. And it's not easy, but you have to put the time in to get used to using the thumbsticks. There's a lot of people out there, they don't necessarily want to put the time in to get used to the thumbsticks that the Scuf Valor Pro wire offers. And I understand that you want to be able to play as soon as you open the package, as soon as you open the box. You want it to feel like a controller that you've already been accustomed to. That's not the case with this controller. You're going to have to get used to the thumbsticks because there is a learning curve involved with the thumbsticks. Now, I have the Cherry Blossom Edition, which means that the thumbsticks that I received were gray. Since I've been putting in real work and real time, hours and hours using this controller, the thumbsticks are now discoloring. So instead of them being gray, they're kind of turning like a tannish brownish. If this is a deal breaker for you and you don't want the thumbsticks to discolor, you might want to try for a more natural color, such as like a black or a color that's not going to degrade over time, because my thumbsticks are turning different colors because I've been putting in so much time and so much usage into them. Another thing that the Scuf Valor Pro wired controller offers is instant triggers or trigger locks. And they sound like a mouse click once you enable the trigger locks. And I think for the first couple weeks, I decided to not use the trigger locks because for some reason, I was having a really hard time adjusting to the trigger locks. And it would be like I would press the right trigger, and for some reason my gun would stop firing and it just kept getting me killed. So again, there's also a learning curve when it comes to the trigger locks on the Scuf Valor Pro wire controller. Basically, this controller comes with a learning curve, and if you don't feel like or don't want to put in the time needed to really understand what this controller is about, I suggest you don't buy it. Even if it does cost $99, even if it does have Hall Effect thumbsticks, 4 remappable paddles, performance grip, which is honestly the best grip I think I've ever used on the controller so far. The grip, the performance grip on the Scuf Valor Pro wire controller is extremely good. Like extremely good, extremely comfortable. It feels comfortable in my hands when I'm holding it for a long period of time. This controller also allows you to overclock it, but unfortunately you do have to be on PC. And I think majority of the people that are probably going to be watching this video are going to be on console. Just because I think PC gaming is like a luxury thing. Like, it's for those who enjoy luxury gaming. So yes, you do. The only way to overclock this controller is to have a PC. So I don't know what it feels like to have the controller overclocked, unfortunately. I will say this, when I was playing the controller, it does seem like it does have some type of delay to it. It seems like I move slower on this controller for some reason, probably because it's not overclocked. So that's also another thing I would like to add when it comes to the Scuf Valor Pro controller. It seems as if there is unresponsiveness when you go to hit an input on the controller. Not a huge delay, but there is some form of delay because it's not able to be overclocked on console, which, you know, if responsiveness is important to you and you're on console, that might be a deal breaker for you, unfortunately. So I did want to bring that up. This controller also didn't come with a case, which is why it probably costed $99. They were able to cut the price down by not including the case. It does come with extra thumbsticks. It does come with 4 remappable paddles, instant trigger locks. It is a wire controller, so you will have to hook it up to your console. And I think overall, I'm gonna give the Scuf Valor Pro wire controller overall, after using it about for a month, I dare say I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Just because I've actually put the time in and the hours in to really understand what Scuf Gaming was trying to bring with the Scuf Valor Pro wire controller. They were trying to give you pro features for a decent price, you know? And thankfully, I'm one of the people that I was willing to experience the learning curve. Now, the Xbox Series Elite 2 controller immediately when I picked that controller up and I started playing on it, I'm like, yo, this is obviously way better than the Scuf Valor Pro controller. It just, remember that irresponsiveness I was talking about with the Scuf Valor Pro controller? Like you would go to hit a button and it almost seemed like it was like in slow motion to respond to you. I don't really get that on the Series Elite 2 controller. I hit an input, it's almost as if the controller responds to that input as soon as I click it, which allowed me to have a better playing experience. The Series Elite 2 controller does come with 4 remappable paddles, and me coming from the Scuf Valor Pro controller to the Series Elite 2 controller, I was like, wait, the Scuf's paddles are way better. Way better, in my opinion. Just because of how the Series Elite 2 controller decided to shape their paddles and the way that they placed the paddles on the controller, I found myself having a really hard time adjusting at first to not click a paddle that was not intended to be clicked. So basically, I was accidentally hitting a different paddle than the paddle I was supposed to be hitting. And it was very frustrating and a learning curve at most, I would say. The performance grip on the Series Elite 2 controller, I think it's okay. I don't think it's as good as the Scuf Valor Pro's grip, in my opinion. I think the Scuf has a better grip, performance grip. That's just my opinion. I would give the grip, on a rating of 1 to 10, I would give the Series Elite 2 controller grip probably a 6.5. The Scuf Valor Pro wire controller performance grip, I would probably give that like an 8.5. It's really good. It's really comfortable. The Series Elite 2 controller does come with the case, and it has a opening to where you can charge the controller in the case. I think that's a nice commodity to have. How often will I use that? Maybe not. That's debatable. That's debatable. It's something nice to have, I guess, though. But that also hikes the price of the controller up. It does come with extra thumbsticks. You can change the thumbsticks out by just pulling the thumbstick immediately up, or pulling the D-pad immediately off the controller. As opposed to the Scuf Valor Pro controller, you have to actually take the faceplate off of the controller and then change the thumbsticks and stuff like that. So that's the difference between the Scuf and the Series Elite 2 controller. I think the Series Elite 2 controller is a little bit more convenient, but you get more customization, I believe, with the Scuf, just because you could change out different faceplates, which I think is pretty dope. The Series Elite 2 controller does come with trigger locks. I don't think the trigger locks are as satisfying as the Scuf Valor Pro wired trigger locks are, just because you don't get that really mouse clicky sound. I'm gonna give the trigger locks to the Scuf Valor Pro. I think Scuf really dialed in just the feel of how the trigger locks are on that controller. I really like the thumbsticks on a Series Elite 2 controller. Now, my controller off bat has stick drift. The Series Elite 2 is a brand new controller and it already has stick drift. So for $190, you're going to more than likely have to deal with stick drift issues. Just being honest, because I'm dealing with them. Brand new controller, it has stick drift. I didn't have to deal with that with the Scuf Valor Pro wire controller. I also think that stick drift isn't a game changer, isn't a deal breaker, just because I'm so used to having stick drift. But it's like at $190 to still be dealing with stick drift, I think that's kind of unacceptable. So yeah, that's what I pretty much wanted to talk about between the two controllers and my experience. If I had, one more thing with the Series Elite 2 controller. You can go into the Xbox Accessories app and change different settings on your thumbsticks. Somebody actually told me about this in my comment section. I was like, let me try this out. And right now I have both of my thumbsticks set on aggressive. So you can change the way your thumbstick reacts when you go to press the input. So right now my left thumbstick and my right thumbstick are on aggressive. They also offer smooth. And it's another one I can't remember off the top of my head, but they offer different settings to be able to change the way your thumbstick reacts, which is pretty clutch. I tried out most of them. Aggressive was really snappy, really responsive, very competitive. So I thought that was a pretty cool addition to the Series Elite 2 controller. And one more thing about the Series Elite 2 controller, you can also change the tension of your thumbsticks. I haven't really messed around with that. I'm kind of scared to, but I probably should just go ahead and put my foot in the water and just see if I like it or not. I probably will at some point, but you can adjust the tension of your thumbsticks. You can't do that with the Scuf Valor Pro controller. So overall, I think my verdict, I would probably give it to the Series Elite 2 controller. I do think the Scuf Valor Pro wire controller is not far behind. I just think the customization that you can do with the Series Elite 2 controller through the Xbox Accessories app, the responsiveness of the thumbsticks, even though the controller has stick drift, I still have to give it a step above the Scuf Valor Pro wire controller. They're both great controllers. I'll probably still continue to use them, but I just wanted to give y'all my Scuf Valor Pro wire controller versus the Xbox Series Elite 2 controller video today, because I do have the Razer Wolverine V3 Pro coming in today. So thank y'all so much for watching, man. My name is D-Rex. Hopefully this video helped you with a decision. Let me know in the comments what you're looking for in a controller. Is it performance? Is it responsiveness? Is it customization? Let me know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out. Peace.